Hi everyone, welcome again to my channel. Today I'm going to give you another video that would help applicant teachers pass the board exam and the review. I hope this video would be able to help those who want to take the board exam, pass the licensure examination for teachers. Alright, let us start. Which literary movement rejected the idea that language was referential, or that the signifiers automatically refer to the accurate signified? A. Naturalism. B. Postmodernism. C. Realism. And D. Symbolism. Alright, the correct answer here is option D. Symbolism. Symbolism is a reaction against the notion that language and art should be structured and scientific, and that meaning on literature should be definite and pre-given based on language. Number 2. Which literary movement emphasizes a more suggestive, allusive, and connotative language that would enrich and evoke feelings of awareness and aesthetic experience? A. Naturalism. B. Postmodernism. C. Realism. And D. Symbolism. The correct answer here is option D. Symbolism. Symbolism is reacting against not only the reaction of the world to a material dimension, but also the correlative reduction of language to a literalness which enshrines the possibility of absolute clarity. Number 3. Which literary movement states that art exists for its own sake or for the sake of beauty, disregarding moral or political considerations and advocating the freedom of art from didactic, educational, and moralistic functions? A. Aestheticism. B. Humanism. C. Renaissance. And D. Structuralism. The correct answer here is option A. Aestheticism. Aestheticism advocates the independence of art from social, moral, educational, or spiritual contexts. Number 4. Which is an all-knowing point of view in which the author tells of the thoughts and feelings of its character in the story? A. Third-person omniscient point of view. B. Third-person limited point of view. C. First-person point of view. And D. Third-person central character point of view. The correct answer here is option A. Third-person omniscient point of view. All-knowing is omniscient. The expression "and they live happily ever after" is included as a segment of the blank. A. Resolution. B. Setting. C. Theme. D. Plot. The correct answer here is option D. Plot. The expression is usually the ending of the story, which is still a part of the plot. In mythology, Zeus, the ruler of Olympus, had two brothers, one who ruled the sea and the other who ruled the underworld. The two were blank. A. Apollo and Artemis. B. Poseidon and Hades. C. Hermes and Ares. D. Achilles and Aeschylus. The correct answer here is option B. Poseidon and Hades. The twins Apollo and Artemis, or Diana, are deities associated respectively with the sun and the moon. Hermes, or Mercury, is the messenger of the gods, while Ares, or Mars, is the god of war. Achilles is the greatest of the Greek heroes in the Trojan War, while Aeschylus was the first of the great Athenian writers of tragedy. Next, the three monstrous sisters with snakes for hair, teeth like the tusks of a wild boar, hands of brass and bodies covered with impenetrable scales, they turned to stone all who look at them. The most famous of the three was Medusa, which is described: A. Gigantes, B. Furies, C. Gorgons, and D. Fates. The correct answer here is option C. Gorgons. Gigantes or giants rebelled against the Olympians and tried to scale the heavens by piling Mount Pelion with Mount Ossa. Hence the phrase to heap Pelion and Ossa, meaning to add difficulty with difficulty, trouble to trouble, etc. Furies were the ministers of vengeance of the gods. Fates were the three sister goddesses who preside over human destiny. Number 8. Son of Zeus and Alemene, he was renowned for his superhuman strength and courage, sometimes called Aleides. He is often represented with a bow or club, wearing a lion skin. Who is referred to? A. Oedipus, B. Odysseus, C. Androcles, and D. Hercules or Heracles. The correct answer here is option D. Hercules or Heracles. Oedipus is the king of Thebes who killed his father and married his own mother. Odysseus, the king of Ithaca, who relates his wanderings that finally take him back to his hometown after an absence of 20 years. Androcles, a runaway slave who removed a thorn from the paw of a lion, captured and sentenced to death in the Roman arena. Number 9. Which is the subject in mythic history portrayed in music, Disbukes arts, painting? A. Daedalus and Icarus, B. Iliad and Odyssey, C. Farewell of Hector and Andromache, D. Encounter with Polyphemus. The correct answer here is option A. Daedalus and Icarus. Daedalus and Icarus painted with a scene of Icarus drowning while all the world was busy doing their own chores, did not even notice the drowning young man. The following are examples of situational irony except blank. A. Abduction of Helen, B. Oedipus fled Corinth, C. Death of Acrisius in the hands of Perseus, D. The quest to expose Leio's murderer. The correct answer here is option A. Abduction of Helen. Abduction of Helen, all except A, had the element of encountering what the character was initially trying to avoid. Philosophic-religious belief in reincarnation is based on which mythical character? A. Orpheus, B. Paris, C. Achilles, and D. Agamemnon. The correct answer here is option A. Orpheus. Orpheus, this is evident when he tried in vain to retake Eurydice from the underground of Hades. The following are typical characteristics of an epic hero except blank. A. Immortality, B. Superiority, C. Bravery, and D. Fame. The correct answer here is option A. Immortality. The epic hero's immortality comes from the physical death after a gargantuan task. It is a significant truth about life and human nature that is exhibited by the words, actions, and decisions of characters. This element of fiction is known as blank. A. Setting, B. Point of view, C. Plot, and D. Theme. The correct answer here is option D. Theme. Theme is the overall message of a literary text, which is usually a general truth about human life. Number 14. A mechanism by which a narrative sequence of events or story is structured and organized is called A. Point of view. B. Plot. C. Literary device. And D. Denouement. The correct answer here is option B. Plot. The plot involves the way the actions or events are presented in fiction materials. Denouement is part of the plot, while literary device may be embedded in the plot. Point of view is angle of narration. Next, a great deal of the oldest literature of which we have written records is in verse. Which genre of literature may well be considered the oldest literary form? A. Fiction. B. Poetry. C. Drama. And D. Essay. The correct answer here is option B. Poetry. Poetry is considered the oldest literary genre ever produced, since the earliest narratives, such as epics, were written in verses or stanzas. Next, which represents the various social overtones, cultural implications, or emotional meanings associated with a sign? A. Denotation. B. Connotation. C. Syntax. And D. Euphemism. The correct answer here is option B. Connotation. Denotations pertains to literal or dictionary meanings of terms. Meanings over and beyond the denotative level are connotative. Next, which is a direct address to someone absent, long dead, or even to an inanimate object, like pack, clouds, away, and welcome day? A. Metonymy. B. Personification. C. Metaphor. And D. Apostrophe. The correct answer here is option D. Apostrophe. Apostrophe is the only figure of speech that directly talks to or addresses even inanimate objects like clouds and day in the given example. Next, what figure of speech uses words having sounds that imitate what they denote, like bang, whoosh, and buzz? A. Onomatopoeia. B. Allusion. C. Metaphor. And D. Synecdoche. The correct answer here is option A. Onomatopoeia. The use of words which sounds resemble their meanings is onomatopoeia. Next, memoirs, which are first-person accounts of personally or historically significant events, may be classified under A. Biography. B. Autobiographical writing. C. Fiction. D. Drama. Alright, the correct answer here is option B. Autobiographical writing. Memoirs are first-person accounts where the writers are either participants or eyewitnesses. Next, the term thespian was taken from Thespis, a 6th BC poet who is said to have been the founder of Greek drama and the first actor. Thespian means A. Actor. B. Orator. C. Speaker. And D. Teacher. The correct answer here is option B. Orator. The dictionary meaning of the thespian is actor. Alright, I hope you have learned something in this video. Thank you very much for watching. See you again.